This bike is certainly fast. Yeah, this thing just wants to fly, man. Good day and welcome to the channel, everyone. Well, we're gonna take a look at a bike I've been wanting to get on here, getting a lot of hype, and it's in the 120 millimeters travel category. You can see it right behind me here. This is the Ibis Ripley 120 millimeters of DW link suspension. This is a really nice looking frame in black. Really beautiful. Take a look at that there. One of the caveats that I saw with this bike is getting on it felt a little bit short in the reach and in the top tube. I got on the extra large and I'm only 5'10". I've got long arms and I've got a really long inseam, and I just felt conflicted, like I should have taken out the extra large. But I don't know, I'm gonna get it out on the trail. The shop was like really confident, hey man, get on the large, take the large out, you're gonna love it. And I wasn't so confident about that. We'll see. So we're gonna get onto the trail now. Let's see how well this thing climbs, how it descends. Climbing now on the Ibis Ripley. So far I can tell very good climbing suspension. Not detecting any sort of pedal bob on this. And this thing's scooting forward. I'm noticing as it climbs, it doesn't feel so firm, pretty plush while climbing over the rocks. Very good small bump compliance while you're climbing. All right, let's see what the Ripley can do descending. Definitely very fast, very agile. Suspension feels a little bit stiff though. So that was a glance of the bike in the firm setting. Excuse me, the medium setting. Now I'm going to open the shock all the way, see how it feels in the open setting. This bike is certainly fast. It does feel like
though the suspension is not as plush as the tall boy is. Still very firm on bumps, even on the open setting. One thing I notice when you climb and you stand up and mash on it, it does have a little bit of bounce to it, a little bit of bob, but for the most part it's pretty supportive. Yeah, it's definitely there when you stand into it, just slightly though. Taking it down some good rocky chutes here. That low C-tube is so appreciated. You drop that C-post really deep, you get real back behind there. Yeah, it does get bucked around a little bit. Yeah, this thing just wants to fly, man. It is fast. Man, even in the open setting though, this thing just climbs so well. Does climb better than the tall boy, that's for sure. It's noticeable. Yeah, this does get bucked around a little bit more. It reminds me of the Yeti SB130. Probably because the mid-stroke is just so supported. It's so stingy on the travel. It just doesn't want to give up anything. Through these tight little rocks and turns. Man, this thing is so agile. Very good for doing tight corners, switchbacks. You may not believe this, but the Ripmo that I was on actually weighed a pound less than this Ripley did. But I know Jason with MTB Yum Yum, I think he said he has his built up as about, his Ripley is 25 pounds. Now, this is about 29 pounds, 11 ounces, what we found when we weighed it, but also 2.5 front and rear tires. I think the one thing I would do if I bought this bike is probably change the rear shock. The geometry reminds me very similarly of the tall boy, and the fact that you're not quite feeling like you're over the bars, but almost kind of close to it, that wheelbarrow effect. It's not there, but it's kind of like flirting with it. They're purposely going down all this chunky gnar on purpose. I want to see what this thing will do. Boy, but man, the travel just doesn't want to give anything up. That was our ride on the Ibis Ripley, the 2019 version, and it's a great bike. It really is. It climbs superbly well. It is a sharp razor blade, if I could say that. This thing loves to go around turns, loves to be poppy, playful. It's really fast. I think I've mentioned some of the downsides during the video. I kind of felt in the large, the cockpit feels just a little bit small, but from what everyone's saying, that Ibis kind of runs a little bit smaller on the reach. So it felt a little bit small, but when you're descending and standing up into it, it's not that noticeable. You could probably take your seat, scoot it back a little bit. You could go with maybe a 50 millimeter stem, 55 millimeter, something a little longer along that lines. It is really good. So there you have it. Always remember to travel the narrow trail.